What's going on in Really Sports? Back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants' second signing in this year's free agency. Of course, that is veteran defensive tackle Robertson-Harris, who last year he split time between the Seattle Seahawks after he was traded there from the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he spent a few seasons. It was initially reported it's a 2-year, $10 million deal, but stuff slowly started to sort out, and it is a 2-year, $9 million deal. So, $4.5 million a year for 2 years. We don't know the guarantees, but he's 6'5", 300 pounds, and he's going to fit really nicely beside Dexter Lawrence on that interior defensive line for the New York Giants. This was a position the Giants desperately needed, some defensive line help. Of course, last year, at points in the season, of course, granted there were a lot of injuries, and maybe the Giants just, letting the season go away, knowing that unfortunately they didn't want to get injuries and knowing that the season was over. So maybe that's why, but they needed depth. There was no doubt about it. A lot of people wanted Jonathan Allen, but you got to look at it from Jonathan Allen's shoes. When you're probably going to get offered contracts from some of the best teams in the NFL, why pick New York? Who's sort of at the backwards end of a retool. So, I think it's a really good signing though for the Giants. They needed depth on the interior of their defensive line, and Robertson-Harris is a very good veteran. He's a good rotational piece. He's played in 117 games, so that is a big amount of games. I think it just makes sense. You need depth, and you need to be able to find depth pieces, whether that's through the draft or signing veterans. I think it makes sense. So we'll ultimately see what else happens for the Giants. But I think that getting depth was really smart, and not only is he a good depth piece, rotational piece that can play on the field, he's going to be a good, locker room guy and a leader, for this defense. So I think it makes sense, and I think it's a move that the Giants had to get someone, and I think Roy Robertson-Harris is a pretty good guy. He's played over 100 games, like I said, 117 in his NFL career. So getting a veteran leader, a guy who's been around, a guy with a lot of experience, I think it makes sense. So it's not a lot of money at all. $4.5 million a year for the next 2 years is more than fine. It's a deal I'm fine with. And the Giants are not done at all by any means. They still need to do more, but I think Roy Robertson-Harris will look very good, rotationally next to, of course, Dexter Lawrence. Let's take a look at some of his numbers in past seasons. Last year he had four tackles for loss with 2 sacks. The year before that, 3.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. So the Giants are getting a guy who can he's not going to get to the quarterback at a ridiculous rate, but he's going to get in the backfield, particularly on run plays. He can stop the run really well. And I think beside Dexter Lawrence, like I said, I think he's already a good player, good rotational piece, but he'll look even that much better beside one of the NFL's best on the defensive line. So I think it's a good signing for the Giants. It's a cheap, cost-effective deal for a big body veteran, experienced guy, 6'5", 300 pounds. I like the signing for the Giants. It's cheap, and we'll ultimately see what else the Giants have in store. But you guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the signing of Roy Robertson-Harris. 2 years, $9 million. Let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys all in the next video, and as always, let's go Giants.